Right, so at Omni Local Business Networking, we're all about helping each other out and trying to help and find referrals. And when you often go networking, you get the opportunity to present to the room. What they say is, please don't talk about your business, talk about you. Well, I need to know if I can trust you. I need to know if you're good at what you do. I need to know the type of people you're looking for. Yes, getting to know you is a byproduct of networking, of course it is. But speeding up that process, if you let us know exactly what you do, we are going to know somebody that will need you or be interested in your services. If you want to take this time to talk about butterflies, all we know, as you know, a shed load about butterflies. We don't know what you do, how to recommend you. And now we're all going to be sitting in traffic. That's my thinking time on how I can help people. So this, when you get this opportunity, take it. I'll give you the next dates, available dates, once we finish this. But Nicola, I've allowed share screen. The floor is yours, and I'll put myself on mute.
Thank you very much. Okay. This is pitch platform. This is the pitch platform for Technix Solutions. I'm just going to take you a little bit through me, my family and friends, and then I'll stem on to where my business is. So in a nutshell, I've had a few jobs, been in 2 long-term relationships totaling 17 years, traveled the world, owned another business, become a Christian, had 2 perfectly perfect children, met and made some awesome friends, and I'm currently single, living in Cranley with my little family, in my little house, with my little car and lovely holidays, running an awesome business. My family, I've got 2 sons, obviously I've mentioned. One, well, I didn't mention sons, but I've got 2 sons. Noah is on my right and William is on my left. Noah's going to be 16 this year, William's going to be 13, so we've got a great year this year for ages and numbers. Here's my dad in the next picture. He's got Noah on his right shoulder. That was when Noah was about 1 or 2, I think. And that was I think that was Christmas Day. This is my brother. The next picture is my brother. It's one of his birthdays, and we kind of have a little celebration for everyone's birthday. And the last picture is my mum and my stepfather. They live in Australia, and we were in that picture. We were in Rome, so they were my travel buddies when we could travel, basically. A snippet of friendship. So just quickly, I used to work for Going Places 20 years ago, and I still catch up with the Going Places ladies, and we meet in the Sovereigns in Woking, you know, we haven't met recently, but hope to in the future. Then there's Lynn, who's another Going Places lady. We had the opportunity to go to the PGA Golf Championships, and we watched Kaiser Chiefs mainly there. And then on the last picture, I've got Vicky, who's one of my oldest school friends, and she's also a Christian friend living down in Rustington. That's her eldest child. And every so often I get the opportunity to go shopping with her. This is a little bit of my my world domination. This is meant in the highest good, of course, but I've had obviously about 27 places, you can see, various places in Europe, Australasia, Asia type thing. And I mainly frequent maybe some places in Europe or Australia, because that's where my mother is. And hopefully the end of this year, I might get the opportunity to go and see her on my usual Boxing Day trip. Okay, I'll keep this brief. There's a lot more hobbies and interests that I have going on that's probably on here actually. I like going to church. I go to church regularly. I have a house group. I've done that for about 16, 17 years now, and I do lots of Bible study. So I kind of, you know, have the wash of the Word of God through, as well as my shower in the morning. I like organising parties. I like going out with my friends. You know, I like organising events. I like bringing my family together and going to various different places when we could, obviously. My exercise includes Zumba, sometimes at the leisure centre, sometimes at home, yoga, with my yoga client, and sometimes at home, Pilates, walking, forest bathing, practical philosophy. I've done that, you know, more recently I haven't been involved, but that was about 3 years I studied with philosophy. I attended, you know, a club for women, empowering women in code. I meditate regularly. I love traveling, cooking, music, reading, dancing, the lot. There's not much I don't enjoy, but I don't want to go into anything else, basically. Right, now quickly for my business. Technix Solutions, you know, almost, you know, 6 years ago, but it's been longer than that. My first business was 20 years ago, and I went off to have my children. I had a break with my partner. You know, he's no longer in my life. Well, he's no longer my partner anymore, but I promised myself I didn't want to fall back into the 9 to 5, you know, having to look after your family, etc. So I, you know, the best thing that I'd ever done was own this own company when I was in my early 20s. So I wanted to do this again, and decided to take the plunge. When my children were old enough, where they didn't need me as much, you know, I chose the name of my business and went for it. You know, so I've mentioned that I've owned my own web design company, and it was such a major achievement for me, and apparently it's a major achievement in business as well. We earned £70,000 in our first year, and this business is where I learnt about coding, you know, understanding what, you know, the detail of how everything is put together, and the steps that you have to take just to get a certain image on a website. And that was 20 years ago. Obviously, with the growth of the business, it's different now. I have in-house training with HTML, Word, Excel, Visual Basic. I also understand various other languages to a certain point. For the start of Technix, I trained in how to start my own business with the government, basically. So this second business has been more about relationships and the build, basically, the understanding and the trust of who, you know, who you can speak to, and you know, what goes with what, basically. And the government offer an enterprise allowance, so they can pay you whilst you're in process of setting up a business, and they have wonderful mentors. I had Richard Harding, I had Adrian McEwen, and I had help with, you know, understanding, keeping the language, when you're describing yourself, keeping it short and sweet, because that's how people, you know, remember you. And also Adrian McEwen helped out with the business plan, and that's where my you know, supporting new startups stemmed from, basically. There's a few projects here. There are other projects that I've been involved with. One of my first was Formula One plastering. He had a rebrand and business cards. His business is still going. And Pitman training, I was involved. Pitman's a super brand, so that was an amazing achievement for me to actually help out with the Guildford Pitman. It may not seem much, and obviously, Martin, you know, small things lead to bigger things, but the idea was that they're a super brand. Their business, you know, their business model, their branding is up there with British Airways and Google, and you know, been going since the 1800s. And it was quite fascinating, you know, when you start to understand a little bit more about something or someone, the depth of it's quite extraordinary, actually. So I helped out with the Guildford social media, and I also trained with Pitman as well. So the next, you know, I helped out with various different landing pages with a company called Global Media, and he had a company within Sutton, so there's a London company, and I met him via LinkedIn, and he also owns a company in Cornwall now as well. That's Eniosung, that is. I've helped, you know, I've done little bits and pieces, helping people out with their IT. So I went and did some support, help desking. You know, and helped with their server side of things in Cranley, basically. And I've also helped with the classic race simulators. Mike designed the images, and obviously Jim is based in Farnborough, He's based, and we designed the website, we did the SEO for him. We're also doing more advanced SEO, and we're also helping him out with his social media. So he boosts his posts with social media, but we extend it by adding it, you know, by a secret recipe. Andrea A. Smith is also another person that Mike also works with. He's done the images. He's helped out with you know, the various different images with Andrea's site, and she's got Andrea A. Smith, which is the, you know, the coaching corporate side of things, and then for Mind's Sake, which is, you know, is something similar, but I think she's also got you know, hypnotherapy and so on and so forth involved in that side of things. She's a registered nurse. She has been for 25 years, and I helped design and launch, you know, her both, you know, Andrea A. Smith. And I've also been involved in the publishing company that helped, you know, I was at the start of the publishing company that helped publish Andrea's book as well. She's an author too. I've also done little promotional opportunities. Just one at the moment, I think, or maybe Smiley Booth wanted somebody, you know, I don't mind being on the front end of the promotional side of, you know, the marketing or the advertising side as well. I like being involved in that area as well. So I helped Smiley Booth promote the product itself, basically. And she was, you know, the booths that go around to like weddings or I don't know, various different events and functions that you would use for different photographs. So she's no longer in business anymore because of the pandemic, but the business model and the event side of things was quite fabulous to be involved in. So that photograph there was done by a networking event that Smiley Booth was at. And that's what got me interested in what the type of camera and the type of business that could offer, basically. So you can have quite professional shots, but with just a Smiley Booth, you didn't have, you know, sorry, Mike, you didn't have to hire a photographer. Okay, just quickly, the team, I got it. The team, basically I do everything. I network, I gain clients. I do web design, I do the SEO, I do social media, marketing, reporting, recruiting, HR, PR, payroll, the lot. So I'm looking to expand, basically. We've got a Kickstarter at the moment. He's our new digital manager. He's responsible for web design, SEO, landing pages, social media, and much more. He's actually a dream come true, and his ability and availability is quite wonderful, actually. There's also Lucy. She has helped out with various different little projects, and she's mainly a graphic designer, artist person, and she'll help out with WordPress if I ask, and if it's needed, she'll help out where's needed. These are the type of people that I partner with. I've worked with Fast Host for about 20 years now. They offer inexpensive hosting, and you can buy your domain name. You can actually get WordPress hosting with these guys as well now, and I've watched their company develop over the years. GoDaddy has one of the best support, customer service support areas, and you'll end up getting an American person, but they go above and beyond, and they've been they're quite they're worldwide and they're well known. Names.co.uk is another good one, and Raven is a reporting tool. So we'd probably use Google now, but Raven is something that you would use to gather the statistics for your website. So if you wanted to know who's visiting your page, how long they were staying on your page, where your broken links were, where the information and everything is, then you would actually, you would use these types of guys online. Then there's Richard Johnston. He does occasionally, who's worked with Star Wars. He's worked in the back end of the movie Star Wars, proper one, Revenge of the Sith, I think, and Spitting Image. You know, we were talking about, you know, we went as far back as 1987 in the one-to-one this morning, and he's actually worked on the original Spitting Image puppet side, but he does sketch works, design, you know, he's worked with TV, he's worked with lots of different people, he's helped with my branding, basically. Here's my vision: social media, networking clients, build my team, assist more new startups, find a design studio, and find my bigger clients. I'd like to have, I'd like to revamp larger businesses' websites, basically. And that's what I'd like to get into. But thank you for listening. Does anybody have any questions?
Could you just drop the screen, Nicola? And I'll stop recording now, because if anybody's watching this video online, if you've got any questions, then please reach out to Nicola. Right, it's going to